It's not our world.
None
That's
of this
the
is
key.
real?
Nope.
So you're just passing
We don't
through.
matter. We don't matter.
This is spiritual warfare, so you cannot say you never heard what I'm about to say.
Because they reset the matrix back to the 1900s, so they basically put everything back how it was, right? All the older shops that was closed for like more than 20 years, they are now being open. For some reason, I'm back in the 90s, right? I hope it's the Most High will, because what is His will be done. What they used to do back then, right? They used to have me being scared of hearses, so they're always passing with it constantly. They've been doing the same thing right now. They have a whole bunch of hearses passing constantly all the time. They used to make me be afraid of like cemeteries and graves and everything. So what I used to do back then, even if there was a grave close by somewhere, I would not want to pass there. You couldn't find me going to a cemetery or anything, right? But like I'm saying, in the 2000s, the Almighty allowed me to overcome all this fear, right? Because God allowed me to live at a place where I literally have to pass a huge cemetery in order for me to go home, right? And most time there's no taxi, so I actually have to walk past there. These things basically help me to overcome all the fears. Very interesting that now they came back with the same thing. A neighbor beside me, and I didn't even know they had a grave in the yard and everything, but all of a sudden they cut down some places, and that's what I see visible. So every time I look up the window in the back of the house, that's the first thing I would see, right? So they basically come back with the same thing, right? And like I'm saying, a whole bunch of hearse they have passing about me every single day, basically doing the same thing. Real beautiful places over the years that they have refurbished, and these places look really nice and beautiful, especially like gas stations and stuff. Now the whole thing just look old and ugly and weird, and you don't have a whole bunch of good activity taking place there. People that go to the markets that sell, you'll see them with all their luggages, at that gas station. These places don't look beautiful no more. They look old and ugly, just like in the 90s. Next thing about it is people that I know in the 90s that were old people, right? I see them now and they still look old just the same, and they look just the same way. People who I know who was young people, they still are young just the same, and they look just the same way. It's amazing. The only difference is that I don't see many of the people who were like children, right? And the next thing about it is, if say for instance I had friends in the 90s or whatever, right? All of them will try to show up now. They don't try to talk to me like they haven't seen me in many years. Say, hey Nats, how are you doing? And I haven't seen you in so long. No, they're literally talking to me just like in the 90s. Like they just saw me yesterday. We just went to school yesterday and everything was good. For instance, I would say, okay, I'm going to a store to buy something. They'll be like, okay, can I come to the store with you? Same way like back in the days, they're doing the same thing. Like we have not parted over many years. The point I'm making, I'm saying this is not our world, right? Because people who I know then who used to be poor and used to be needy and used to be in poverty, and a whole bunch of stuff used to go on with them. And I used to wonder why these people remain in this situation. Why don't they try to work their way up to the top? Why don't they try to get out of this situation? Why are they going to live at this place? Why don't they change the area where they live, right? And try to go live somewhere else? Why don't they try to do something different, right? Why would they sit in that condition? The fact that they reset the matrix, I get to realize that all these things were by design. These people never really choose to be poor. They never choose to be in poverty. They never choose to live in the areas that they live, because many of these people have work their way out to the top, right? Many of them have their own businesses. They work in really good jobs. They work at really wonderful places. The fact that they reset the matrix, they send them right back into the past, and they're now living in the same condition that they used to in the 1900s. I get to realize that our entire life is, the entire world is a stage, and how our life is, it's all been designed that way. These Nephilims, they choose who should be poor, who should be rich, who should be working certain places, who should have business. Even young guys who, they were working in decent job, working in stores or working somewhere, having a very good life. I realize the thing about them right now, that they now start dressing old, looking old, and now doing farming. Women who would be doing their decent job, they now in the country riding like a bicycle, with a whole bunch of stuff on there. So they're doing farming, and say they're going out to cut people lawn and everything. I'm trying to tell you, these people, They have absolutely no memory of their real life. So what happened is they erase the human memory of their life in the future that they had of their life right now, and basically reset them back to the past, and they have absolutely no memory of what used to take place, right? So like I'm saying, the whole thing has been reset all the way back to the past. It is so amazing. It is so amazing. I'm trying to tell you because I actually thought our life was real. And I see so many people pass all of these things, right? And they went into the future and they had a real life and they had a good life. And now they're basically back into the same situation. Now I get to understand that it was not their choice, but all of this was by design, right? And they come around me doing the very same thing, right? Because I've been through this before. It's the same thing with me when I see my grandparents and some of these people going through a whole bunch of stuff. And I was saying to myself, I don't understand why they sit and tolerate this type of lifestyle, right? And I said to myself, I don't want to be like them, so I'm going to try to work my way to the top and do things differently. And I remember I went into nursing school. I sent myself to nursing school and I pushed so hard, right? And I could only stop at geriatric nursing because that's what I could afford at the time. And when I push so hard, I work night and day. Most time when people are sleeping, I'm there working. I try to build myself a house and everything because my goal was to get married, finish nursing school. And I'm trying to tell you, I did get the house, I did get married. And I said I wanted to achieve these things at 25. And I'm trying to tell you, I did achieve it at 25 without joining any occult or any evilness that these people think that people need to join all these things in order to achieve stuff. And when I did all of that, it's just so amazing that in 2010 the enemy came and wiped my memory completely and erased every single thing and stole everything I work hard for. They wiped my memory and take out the fact that I was a nurse, the fact that I went to nursing school. They wiped out all of that. They erased my memory about the house I built, the fact that I was married. I'm trying to tell you everything. They basically leave my mind completely blank. Someone had to tell me what my name was. So I'm trying to tell you, I've been through this situation before, so I know exactly. As the Almighty allowed me to see the 90s as the Matrix reset back to the 1900s, and I'm seeing the enemy coming around with the same thing, I get to realize how they do these things, because many people who have worked their way to the top, who have really come out of all this situation, they are back in the same situation right now. They have absolutely no idea what is happening to them. We live into a matrix. Our reality is fake, and the Nephilims, they are the one who's in control of everything. They are the one who put us under mind control and programming. They possess the human body because they project their spirit into the human body, right, and have the human behaving according to their design, however they want it to be. This is basically what they do, and our reality is fake. So when they reset it back into the 1900s, because in the 1900s, these Nephilims were having the time of their life, and the human under bondage, and didn't even know they were in bondage, right? Because the human just sitting there, all in their mind is to cook and to wash and to clean, just that, and the men is just there want to just sit down in the couch and listen to cricket all the day long. They never really have a life. They never really want to go out. They never really want to have fun. They never really want to go anywhere. They just want to be there and just do nothing, because that's what the enemy want. The enemy want the Most High children, the humans, the real humans, to be lazy, right? Because when the humans are lazy and doing nothing, this is how they feed. They get a chance to feed off our energy comfortably in our bodies. So what they do, they make themselves comfortable in our bodies and make us uncomfortable, right? So like I'm saying, this is not our reality. This is a whole Nephilim reality. In the 2000s, right, whenever you take a taxi, there's a set rate. Say for instance, you're going to pay $2 or $5 or $10 for taxi, right? Now what they do, they change it now where you're going to pay like $2.25, right, or $2.50. However they do it, $2.40. They do it where you have to have coins, because in the 90s, a whole bunch of coins, like the taxi drivers and the bus drivers and just regular people would have a whole bunch of coins jingling in their pockets and everything, because this is another form of mind control, right? So they can always be jingling these things in their pockets. They'll be shaking it in their hands and everything like that. However they put the human remain that way and they don't wake up. So like I'm trying to tell you, the enemy know exactly what they're doing, and the fact that they reset the matrix, I really thank the Almighty for this experience, because I could never understand how people allow themselves to be in this situation constantly over the years. And then the fact that it happened to me, I couldn't understand what was happening either until the Most High allowed me to see. Because this is spiritual warfare, so the whole thing is done very, very quickly. Road change, the atmosphere change, the sun change, the moon, the sky, the whole thing. Sometimes if you look at the sky, it looks like it's a wallpaper. The other day, actually see the ground shape shifting, right? So you know they can basically shape shift the earth, this is their reality, into however they want. They literally have us trapped in this fake reality. They trap the real human. The Nephilims are the one who live. When you watch the movie, they live. It also says a lot. It's so amazing because I can't believe I'm literally in the 90s right now. Even some road that have asphalt and everything, they're basically changing the roads back to when they were like dirt roads and everything, and they didn't have all these things. So the whole thing is literally changing. And I have to tell you, nothing is as it seems no more. And not many people can see it, because if people are not connected to the Most High, they will never see all these things. They will never know what is taking place. In the 90s, they used to have people see the government as gods. They believe so much in their doctors. They believe so much in the cops and everything, right? Basically, everything in the matrix that they put there, they put all these things as the human savior for the human to believe in and for the human to trust in, except the Almighty, right? They make sure the human do not trust in the real God. They did give us a God, but that was Satan. Since 2015, there was a spiritual awakening, and the Most High opened many people's eyes to see the spiritual truth, especially pastors. And many of them, I'm trying to tell you right now, they're reset back into the 1900s, and they're preaching the same garbage and foolishness, the fear mongering. It is so amazing because many people wake up to the real truth, to the real God, and how to preach the real gospel, right? And to find out that now they have been reset all the way back. It's just so amazing. They have been reset all the way back. Their memory has been erased. My memory has been erased many times because they did that to me many times, and they have reset the matrix with me many times. So I know exactly what I'm talking about. So this is taking place now, right? People would come around and be mocking and taunting, banging and stuff, and just looking for attention. I realized that many of these vehicles are also shapeshifters, and that they park themselves into a corner, into like a little area, right, expecting for you to look at them to get attention. The same way a person hide themselves in a little corner for you to look at them, because any attention at all that you give to these beings, it causes them to feed off of your energy. That's the reason why I don't really record these gangstalkers anymore like before, right? Because one time when I used to record them, I never realized it giving them attention, because any attention at all is good for them. Whether good attention or bad attention, they take it. So this is what I get to realize now. Any attention at all. The other day I saw some Chinese, and they were pointing the devil horn and doing some Illuminati hand gesture, and I take up my phone to record them. They stand right there, and I was doing it even more, you see. Glad that they're getting the attention. So any attention at all they will take right now, they're going to try to feed off your energy. This thing is way bigger than we could ever imagine, and our enemies are spiritual beings. They are not physical beings. Therefore, we need a greater spiritual power to stand against them, which is the great Almighty. And the same way, like I'll be doing stuff in the 90s, and people were walking around looking at me like, oh, she crazy, and what is she doing? Same thing, same look right now. I'm trying to tell you the very same thing. They'll walk up, they see me right now making this video, and they'll be there looking at me like, what is she doing, and why is she talking to herself? Because like I'm saying, these are demons, so they're going to interpret everything wrong. Right? They're going to interpret everything wrong. They know the truth, but they're going to interpret it wrong. We are living in the 1900s. The matrix has been reset. Nephilims are comfortable in the 1900s. The real humans, they are having issues. They don't have a clue what is happening to them, right? But these Nephilims, they are comfortable. Every day I listen to them, they are laughing, they are happy, they are building houses, they are building hardwares, they're building hotels. They're building because they're basically securing themselves, right? Because their plan is to erase the human. They are replacing people. I see many people I know, even taxi drivers who I know for a long time, they have been replaced. Many of them don't know who I am. I see some of them literally trying to hide from me. I have a whole bunch of mannequin, robots, clones, synthetic people. The Almighty God is our only help, because He is the greatest spirit. He is the greatest spirit, right? Because the spirit that fights against us are great. The Most High God is the greatest spirit. We cannot do it by ourselves. So this is something people need to understand. We are at war. This is spiritual warfare. Everything around us is basically to distract us so they can steal our energy and they can feed